We'll try our best to take a few. Bismillahi ta'ala. Wallahu alam. And also, for those who wish to contact us personally and have access to some of our exclusive classes and lectures, let alone the assortment of our Islamic services, counseling, therapy, tutoring, personal Q&As, etc., you can do so by signing up for those services at HadithDiscipleshop.com. HadithDiscipleshop.com. As long as our other merchandise and products and books. Also, a Mufti on eBay for access to our exclusive teas and tea accessories, tea equipment. Mufti on eBay. The link should be in the description. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. We thank everyone for showing their love and showing their support. And last but not least, those who donate, those who contribute, and those who sponsor, the patrons of the entire movement. May Allah Azza wa Jalla accept it from you and bless each and every one of you. And those who wish to donate or contribute or sponsor, you can do so as well. With regards to the different platforms, PayPal, Patreon, GoFundMe, Cash App, so on and so forth. Jazakumullah khairan. SN from Melbourne, Australia. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. If a child who has not reached maturity breaks an oath made to Allah, is he obliged to pay the expiation? He's not responsible for his deeds. He's not accountable. The safest, best thing to do is to make the expiation and to teach him and to show him the importance of guarding one's oath, as Allah states in the Quran. Wallahu ta'ala alam. AA from London. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. What stats should be boosted when it comes to marriage and how to convince a potential that you want to take her abroad to study? Inshallah, make sure you have all the fundamental boxes checked, first and foremost. And certain things that you like, that you're very fond of, things that are very important to you. Inshallah, inwardly and outwardly. And as far as going overseas to study, just be honest, be upfront, tell her upfront. And I give that advice to all of my students and disciples all of the time when they get married. Make sure you tell the woman that you're planning on marrying that you already have one wife and she's coming in as number 2. And there's nothing wrong with being a second or third or fourth wife, but you're not coming into a monogamous relationship. I'm married to her. I'm married to her. These are my wives. I love them. I'm in love with them. They're dear to me. Please do not, I ask you, I beg you, and I'm making it clear from day one, do not try to come between me and these. Don't get jealous. Don't trip. You know that I'm a student of knowledge. I love knowledge. You know that I'm going overseas. I'm in Egypt. Don't go to Egypt with me and say, oh, I want to go back home. I miss my family. The food is nasty. When are we going to go back to America? Don't do that. You make that clear from day one. And inshallah ta'ala, if you make that clear verbally, and if you make that clear, most importantly, with your actions, because lip service is cheap. Anybody can say they love knowledge. Anybody can call themselves a student of knowledge. Anybody can go over to Egypt, go to Medina. But your actions, you love reading and studying and benefiting and listening to the Quran. You love to study. You want to study. You're devoted to your studies. You have dreams and aspirations. That's going to speak many more volumes than what the tongue can do. Wallahu alam. Initials Ari from Boston, Massachusetts is wearing a metal chain with the law on it allowed for men. We mentioned that many times before. KA Manchester, UK. Is Maghrib also shortened to 2 rak'ah when traveling, or as 3? Maghrib remains as 3. It is not shortened. FN Manassas, Virginia. Can a non-Muslim accept Islam alone after watching the video? It's not a condition that a person become a Muslim through another Muslim. They have to make the shahada, they have to verbalize it, they have to believe it in their hearts, they have to understand it in their minds and say the words. And of course, the Islam should be known to Muslims for obvious reasons. Wallahu ta'ala alam. AB from Cairo, Egypt. Is Alfiya a must study prior to getting deep into Ulum al-Ghaya? I don't think so. Alfiya Suyuti if you're talking about ilm al-hadith, is not an absolute must. If you're studying Alfiya Suyuti, you're way beyond the beginner books of ilm al-mustalah. And one could say, and one can argue, is that no one is going to study Alfiya Suyuti unless they're trying to be a mutakhassis, someone who is specifically specializing in ilm al-hadith. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. MC, Sydney, Australia. Can you specify what exact beliefs or actions makes a Shia Muslim into a Rafidi? Are all Rawafid considered clear-cut kuffar? Barakallahu fiqh. Nowadays, it's a word game. And many people say, nowadays, is that every Shiite is a Rafidite. It's no difference now. Back then, or in some places, some countries, it may be a bit different, in which a Shi'i was considered to be someone who said disrespectful things about some of the Sahaba, who had a little bit of overzealousness or disrespect to other companions, but did not slander Abu Bakr and Umar, did not revile them, did not consider them to be kuffar, mushrikun, munafiqun, fasiqun. They didn't say nothing about the Shaykhain, but they had a problem with Uthman. They had some aversive words about Uthman, subversive, some negative derogatory statements to say about Uthman radiallahu anhu. And they had a little extra with Ali, a little bit too much, but not to the point of making shirk, calling upon them, Hassan, Hussein, and Ali, and Fatima, and the other members of Ahlul Bayt, making shirk with them, offering them sacrifice, right? Not slandering Aisha, and accusing her of that which Allah clearly declared her to be innocent of, right? So that's one thing, mutashayyi'. Also, Shi'i person, there's relative terms, subjective levels. They can go up a little higher than that. And the word Shiite or Shi'i could be used for a Rafidi. So it depends on the terminology. What's important is, if you're going to separate between the two, like Muslim and Mu'min in one sentence, then in most cases, the Rafidi is going to be staunch and stern, stark. His aqidah is going to be based off of actions, statements of clear-cut kufr, pertaining to the unseen, to the imams, whether he's a 12er or other than a 12er, versus a Shi'i, who may have some things which are wrong, some bid'ah, some akhta, some major mistakes in his aqidah, but it may not necessitate kufr akbar. And as I said before, it may necessitate what? Kufr akbar, depending. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Initials Ari from Boston, Massachusetts. How do you go about getting a wife? Whatever's a cultural norm where you're from. Your family, yourself, whatever the case may be, as long as it's lawful. S in Melbourne, Australia. Khair, inshallah. We want to stop here today. We'll try to take the questions in the next session. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. And with him is all success. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.